So, yeah, collaborate, communicate, and get things done with Asana, with a GTD flavor. Anybody know GTD? Getting things done. All right. Where's that thing? Oh, there it is. A little bit about me quickly, and then we'll talk about GTD just now. I'm 53. I was born in Mauritius in 1963. In 1980, the family moved to Johannesburg. Guy has never. I went back in '87. I studied metallurgy at the Vaal Triangle Technikon. 5 years, never used it. Went back to Mauritius, did a few odd jobs, and I created a company called PEX Hydraulics. It's a company based in Cape Town, it's a joint venture with a South African chap, Sean White, and ran that for about 10 years. 2004, I sold PEX and went into real estate and Forex with Guy. Guy's got is a Forex advisor, consultant, whatever. But all this time, I was, always looking at how to manage my time properly, the most efficiently that I could. And I went through all kinds of tools and diaries and desk pads and trying to keep up with daily tasks until I discovered GTD. GTD's, I'll talk about that now. And then there was Asana in 2015. And since March this year, I've been spreading the Asana gospel. I think it's a wonderful tool, and I'm having a ball just sharing thing with people. And I was in Rodrigues Island in March this year. We were in the swimming pool having a dop, like you say, and yeah. And I was telling you, this is what I do, and the lady friend that was. I was just alone. Many of us, told me, I've got a big problem. Why don't you come to my company and show me what you do? Which I did, and that was my very first client, and Annabelle, and I trained her company, and I loved it, and she loved it. Then I carried on. I started talking about it, and more and more people are interested. And since March this year, I think I've trained about 10 organizations, 11, something. And then I trained Guy online, on Skype, him and his team. Then he introduced me to Tony, and I spoke to Tony on Skype, and here I am. Yeah. All right, just a quick word about GTD. GTD is a methodology invented by David Allen, who wrote a book which took the world by storm. It's a method that rests on the idea of moving planned tasks and projects out of the mind by recording them externally and then breaking them into actionable work items. This allows one to focus attention on taking action on tasks instead of recording them. Basically, you need a trusted system where you empty your mind into that system to free your mind to be more creative and to actually do the task rather than always saying, oh, I've got to remember to do this and to do that. And you might not have a trusted system. People have Post-its on their computer screens, and they've got bits and pieces, little book in their pocket. And GTD is a wonderful, wonderful system, but it's also something quite involved, and I'm not going to go too deep into GTD. That's why I say Asana with a GTD flavor. This is from David Allen. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. If you don't pay the appropriate attention to what has your attention, it will take more of your attention than it deserves. And your ability to generate power is directly proportional to your ability to relax. He said a lot of very interesting things. I just picked a few just to bring to your attention that having a trusted system really relaxes you. It made a big difference in my life, as far as I'm concerned. I remember I was running in the, I used to go running in the sugarcane fields in Mauritius, and Yeah, I remember I used to literally stop running because while I was running, I was thinking, oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oh, I need to do this. And I was overwhelmed, and I just couldn't keep on running. I had to walk because it just took all my energy away. And when I discovered GTD, and when you do GTD for the first time, what you do, you brainstorm yourself and you put everything that you have in your mind on a piece of paper. And then from there, you organize it into projects and everything. And when I did this, I remember going back running, I felt like 10 kilograms lighter. It was amazing, the effect that doing this process, what it can do for you. And the beauty about GTD is, unlike some theories which focus on top-down goal setting, GTD works in the opposite direction. Alan argues that it is often difficult for individuals to focus on the big picture goals if they cannot sufficiently control the day-to-day tasks that they frequently must face. By developing and using the trusted system that deals with day-to-day inputs, an individual can free up mental space to begin moving up to the next level. So you start with your current actions. You don't go, oh, what's my mission, and then what are my sort of long-term goals, and then from there you derive. This I tried, and I never could do it. When I discovered GTD, he said, no, just forget about the big goals and everything. Just go down to the root, to the minor details of phone calls you need to make, and the little things, just group them together, organize that, and then you group them into projects, and the projects you group them into areas of responsibility. Once you've got that sorted out, then you can move and start thinking about your goals and your long-term goals, and those ones will affect your current action, and it's like a loop. Yeah, that's it. And GTD is not a system that needs a particular software. It can be pen and paper system. It's not linked to anything. But I'm a geek, and I think IT is ideal for Asana, for GTD. And I'm a Mac guy. There's a wonderful program called OmniFocus, which I've used for many years to do GTD. It's a pure GTD program. And I used it for many years. But one thing about OmniFocus, it's only for me. It's my task, my projects. When I find out about Asana, we're going to talk about, it does more or less what OmniFocus does, but you got this whole collaboration aspect with it, where you create teams, and we all take part in the teams, we assign each other tasks, and we can communicate as well. We can get out of our email and only internally in the company only use Asana to communicate. No more emails. I'll show you just now. And then there was Asana. And so before I show you Asana, I want to say, I want to talk about what's interesting with Asana. I'm trying to gather my thoughts, sorry. Asana for me is, you're going to have teams where all the members of the teams, you have different teams, and different members take part in the different teams. Sorry, I'm French speaking, by the way, so I'm trying to find my words. You have different teams. In those teams, you will have different members of your company, depending if the team is a sensitive team. For example, if you have a finance team, you might have only a few key people forming part of that finance team. Some teams are general, like a sales team. You may have everybody in the company forming part of the team. And this allows you to keep a certain kind of privacy depending on which teams you're working with. Now, in those teams, you have projects, anything that's going on in the company. And within those projects, you have tasks, which have to be completed to move that project along until they come to completion. And the cherry on top with Asana is you can, by creating those tasks, you can assign it to each one. You know there's complete visibility on whatever's going on in the company. You know at any time you can go into Teams, you can go into a project, look at where it's at, and communicate directly within that project on a particular task or on a team in general. You got different levels of communication without touching your email. And it's so much easier to communicate this way, and I'll show you why. Let me show you Asana. I'll come back to this just now. I'm going to fire that. This is actually Guy's, my brother. His company called Bechard Consulting, and this is Bechard's Asana. So on the left, here are the teams. Can you see, guys, see clearly, or is it too small? I can zoom it up a little bit. Is it better? Okay. All right, so on the left we've got teams. All right, and that structure is completely malleable, can be created to suit your purpose. You decide what you want to have at teams. Within the teams, you have team members here, which you invite. And within those teams, you create projects. Those are the projects. You can use, in the sales team, for example, you can have, here I created a sales pipeline for Guy, which is here. And the sales pipeline, you create sections, and all those are tasks. The clients are tasks, and we can move down the pipeline. Really, really handy. Sorry. Actually change them. What client is that, Guy? I think I hit the wrong. There. All right. I hope I'm not breaking any confidentiality thing. It's okay. So on the right there, there's a task. In that case, I've created each client as a task, and over there we've got subtasks and everything that needs to be done to move that client down the pipe. We've got IT, we've got finance and accounts, we've got all kinds of teams on the left. The beauty about Asana is why we have meetings. I mean, we all have meetings in our company. We sit down maybe twice weekly or weekly meetings or monthly meetings, whatever it is. And what we do is we send ourselves an agenda. We create an agenda, 5, 10 items. You email it to everybody. We all sit around the table. We spend 2 hours just talking about, and we ask each other, we take the first item, we ask each other, all right, guys, since we met, Guy, you said you were going to do this and that. Did you do it? Yeah, I did. I didn't, whatever. Joel, you were going to do this. And when you finish, afterwards, say, okay, what's the next step now? What are we going to do to move that project forward? And then this generally, it's a secretary or a lady that is writing furiously, trying to keep up with everything that's being said around the table. And then when we finish, we've gone through all the agenda, everything that's going on in the company that's important. Then we go, this lady goes and will type out the meetings and then sends it by email to everyone. And then you get your email and you try and pick out your name to see, and then you're going to take all those tasks and put it into your personal system. Your system can be a diary, it could be a desk pad or whatever it is. And it's only your system. I can't see it. Nobody can see what you got in your system. Asana, everybody has exactly the same system. I know just by clicking on, I hope you've done your homework, Guy. By clicking on Guy, this is Guy's tasking. There's not much in there, but probably lots latest collapse. I can see what Guy's doing. I can see what Joel's doing. Joel works with Guy. Joel? Better? This is Joel's task. All right. So he's got upcoming, he's got different sections, and Joel, nothing should be new task, but so you just drag and drop. You say recontact. What are you going to do? That later, drop in the later section. This one, that's important, put in today's section. So in the morning, typically in the morning, before you do anything, you go into Asana and you've got those tasks and you go into your upcoming, which is today or the coming days. And then you say, okay, this I need to do today. those new tasks, oh no, I can't do that today, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll put in later and everything, where you end up with a today section, and when you've finished processing your new task and everything, you collapse it all, and you have this to do today. And you focus on this. And you can even move things around. I will take that. Damn. Sorry about this. You will move things. Come on. There, I can move things around and start from the top. That's an important thing. And when I finish, I mark things complete. And we get notified. This is your my task. That's where we are now. This is my task. Now, I am in the Devar team because I put myself in the Devar team to train them, to know what's going on, but I don't have particular tasks. But that's my task, and that's where the action happens. Everything you do here is planning. Create teams, create projects, assign tasks and everything, but and eventually you got to get the work done. And when you need to get the work done, it happens in there, my task, and in your today section. And the beauty is everybody knows what everybody's doing at any one time. I need less meetings. I don't need to spend 2 hours around a table to find out what's going on in my company. You're the owner of a company. You got 20 staff working for you. Everybody's on Asana. You go to China for whatever reason. You're in your hotel room and you're communicating with your team. You can look at the projects. You know who's done what, who has to do what, by when. There's due dates. When I click on the task, let me go to Joel. When I click on the task, over here, that's assigned to Joel. It's got the due date. When it clicks on completed, depending on whether I'm a project follower of that particular project or not, I get notified in my inbox. And when we communicate, this is how we communicate, Facebook style. I click on a task, that particular task. Here, the pane opens and I can start communicating here, making comments. So imagine, and those are task followers. Imagine you got 5 people there following that particular task. And we start, just posting Facebook style. We can like it, there's a little heart there. Instead of the thumbs up, there's a heart for Asana. So you heart things. It tells a guy, I'm listening, even if you're the boss, you're in China, and the guy's completed a task, you see it in your inbox, like that. This is my inbox. It's empty, of course, because I'm a inbox 0 kind of guy. But I can still go to my archive and recall everything that's been done. So when I go through my inbox, I can directly like things, I can bring it back into my inbox if I want. So it's a very, very convenient way of communicating. It makes a huge difference. Let's take this task, for example. Imagine that you have 5 people communicating about that one particular task. Imagine we don't have Asana. We use email. So I'm going to create an email. I'm going to put the subject, send it to Guy, and CC to 4 other people. Now, those guys start now communicating. One guy replies, and he forgets to CC to all. The other guy CCs to all. We all start getting email, and we all add our bit. And suddenly, you end up with an email thread of 50 messages, and it's extremely difficult to follow to see what's going on. In here, all you have to do is just read. Just like in Facebook, you just follow the conversation. Even if a new guy, for example, starts working in the company, and you say, guys, I'm going to put you in charge, or I'm going to put you in that team, and I want you to work on that particular project. And it's got hundreds of tasks in there. No problem. The guy you show him how Asana works, he goes into the project, he goes from task to task. Let me show you. My wife, in Mauritius, we have a little soap making factory called the soap shop. This is the soap shop. Now, this is my task in the soap shop. And you see, I've got lots on my plate. Damn. I've got quite a bit on my plate. But I've got my to-do list, I've got my upcoming, I've got lots of things in later. Some of them things I need to do in 2017, grouped by project. But the thing is, vente, where is vente here, is the French word for sales. So I create a project for each order we get. So this is one of the tourist shops in Mauritius. I don't know if you guys have been to Mauritius. It's like a bird park called Kazla. They've got a beautiful little tourist shop and they order from us. That's their latest order, which is here. And this is everything that we needed to do to get this project on the go. And it's been assigned to me, to Liz, to Angelique is my sales girl, and we just share the work. And whenever I finish, because I'm a project owner, which is here, whenever something happens in there, a task is completed, I get notified in my inbox. This is a notification, a little orange dot. And I can keep on top of my project. I know what's going on all the time. I can choose whether I want to be notified or not. I can have a company with 200 ongoing projects. I don't want to be notified for everything, so I can choose. If I want to be notified, I join the project as a project follower, and I'll get notified. If I don't, then I don't get notified. But not getting notified doesn't mean that I can't go and have a look manually at any time what's going on. And there's also what you call the review, a weekly review, which is recommended. That's GTD style. What's a weekly review is, especially if you're a head of a company or head of an important department, is to be able to go, to give yourself an hour a week of quiet time to be able to go into your different projects, different teams. Just have a look at your projects to see if there's no projects that have stalled. A stalled project is, take this one for example. Imagine everything is grayed out and those are completed tasks, and those here are incomplete tasks, things you need to do. So you got to look at yourself, you go through your projects, and you see that everything is grayed out and there's no next action. In GTD, next action is everything. What's the next action? When we sit in a meeting, we go through agenda item one after the other. What have you done? What's the next step? What do we need to get this project moving ahead? So if you look at a project, you're not in a meeting, but you're on Asana. It's a permanent agenda, online. So you look, there's no next action, call it the project is stalled. So you click on the action, you put a little comment, you say, what's going on? What's the next step, guys? You know, there's also the project owner. In that case, that's her client. Kazla is her client. So it's really good. You can send yourself emails because we're going to communicate internally only on Asana. No more emails. If I get an email from Angelique, I reply to her, I said, Asana, please. Why? She sends me an email to ask me something concerning work. If I reply, it's only between her and I. Liz doesn't know what's going on. So I force her to, that's why when I go to see companies, I go to the top. I convince the top guy about the system, and he's got to enforce it, push it, drive it. And it's, because sometimes there's resistance. A lot of people have gotten used to maybe try and get away with not doing some work, but disguising it at work. There's no way you can get away from that. There's total transparency and accountability. you can't say, I didn't know I had to do this. That's there, it's been there all the time. Right, email. Being a GTD guy, what's nice with GTD is one of the principles of GTD is to empty your mailbox, your inboxes. You can have different inboxes, physical inboxes at home where you empty your pockets, or you got a thing where all your letters come in. It's got to be processed. But email is the same thing. It's one of the inboxes you have. This one's an inbox. You can also process it very easily just by archiving. Once I've read it, okay, I read it. I know what's going on. I can archive it. That's great. That's great. I can like it and archive it. Okay, I like it. I'm just telling, just by liking it, I'm telling my employee, although I'm in South Africa, that I'm aware of what she's doing. It's amazing. I'm telling you, I'm watching you. Not in a nasty way, but I'm there, I'm present. I'm in South Africa. You're working, appreciate what you're doing, so I give it a little heart and archive it. It's gone out of my inbox until I get to inbox 0. There. Same with the email. I'm an inbox 0 kind of guy. I've got stuff coming in our email. I ask myself, is it actionable? If the answer is no, I either delete it or archive it. I don't check my email, I process my email. It's a big difference. You check your email, it stays in your inbox. You process your email, nothing stays in your inbox. You either delete or archive it. If it is actionable and the answer is yes, you ask yourself, can I do it in less than 2 minutes? If the answer is yes, you do it now. And then you archive it or delete it. If the answer is no, send it to Asana. Actionable, can't do it in less than 2 minutes, send to Asana. Very easy, just forward it to a special address. Asana will recognize it. And then when you finish, you archive it, you get to 0. Just a quick demo. This is how I do my email. Delete, delete, delete. A lot of junk, delete, delete. Forex, archive, delete, archive, delete, 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 delete. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I should use a junk filter. This one, no. Delete. Oh, what should I do with this one? And so on, and so on. And it takes me less than 2 minutes to process my email. I'll do it maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Typically, I don't check my email in the morning because it's distracting. And you've got things coming up and see what should I do. So I check my email about noon. And then so I switch off my email program completely. I switch it off. I don't have little pop-ups or anything. I will do it at noon. In the morning, what I do, I go in Asana every morning. I will concentrate on my to-do list. I will go from my upcoming list and populate my to-do list. Sometimes there are things that I put a due date that automatically end up in my to-do list. And I work out, I said, okay, this realistically, those 10 tasks are the most important tasks I'm going to do today, especially the first 2 or 3 tasks. Those are the ones I want to work until about noon. And then come noon, I open my email and I process. And there's a couple of emails I'll show you now. So I delete archive, but this one is important, and this I need to act upon. I forward it, I hit forward, X at mail Asana. I pick the right sending thing. I mean, that's my system. I can set it up for you and send it. There, it's gone. And now I archive it. Archive, 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 delete. Ah, that's important. I've got to read this. This I can snooze for this evening. Done. And this is a very, very interesting thing. And I'll snooze it for this evening. There. Inbox 0. It's my inbox. I do it 3 or 4 times a day. That's it. Archive is just something that, just in case I need it, I will. It's not archive like in Outlook archive. Outlook archive, you got a PST file, and you create another archive PST, and you move things in there. Archive is like Gmail style archive. Archive means out of my inbox. I can create another folder, or I can have. Some of us have lots of folders, and you just move it out of your inbox into that folder for later. Maybe you might need it, or not. You don't know. It's there. And you do a search and you find it, just for safekeeping. Some people use Evernote to archive. You send that email as a PDF to Evernote, and then in Evernote you tag it, you keep it in case you need it one day. But the important thing is actionable emails. That's the ones you need. Is to where are you going to take action? Your email inbox is the worst to-do to-do list you can have, because you try and it's there and you can't keep it up, or you put flags and all kinds of tricks, and it's confusing while you're working on something, and the email pops in, arrives, oh, now I've got to do this, and you stop what you're doing, you get distracted. Now, that email that I need to take action, I'll go into Asana. It will pop in my task. There it is. There it is. It's an email description. I see Tony's email. Then it's a private. I make it public. I assign it to one of those projects. I may assign it to not me or to somebody else. And they will get in there my task. They will also get in their inbox. Says Thierry, Bechard, assign this task to you. And they can start taking action on this. And obviously, we can start communicating about that particular task. What do you want me to do exactly? Blah, 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 blah. And it's available for everyone to see. That's about it. That's Asana. And it's a total game changer. For me, I work with telex. And then I saw the first fax machine arrive. And then I started using email in the early 90s. And for me, those like quantum leaps, now from email, this is the new. And Asana is not alone. There's TaskWell, there's Trello, there's Nosebee, there's all kinds of different tools which are similar. I've tried a lot of them. That is by far my favorite one, and the easiest one as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, please. Zip. Asana is free up to 15 users. But it's a freemium, so there's certain features which are quite neat, quite nice to have, which are not available. But to be honest with you, I've been working with the free version for a long time. Then I worked for a long time, at least a year with the free version, and I upgrade. But Guy's on the free version. A lot of my clients remain on the free version, but I encourage them to. I'm not an Asana guy. I'm not employed by them. I don't earn commission by them. They don't have a partner program. It's just that there are some companies that have tried Asana. It's not difficult, but you've got to give it the time. You have to go into this. So, and Asana, the way they expand is to encourage people at different levels of the company to start working in Asana, invite your colleagues, and get them, show them where they can learn about Asana online. There's lots of online guide, and which I did. I did this way. I was self-taught in Asana, and then try and spread in the company. But sometimes there was a company called Lemon. Actually, I trained a company called Together. Those are the companies, by the way, all the companies that I've trained. And Together, it being one of them, so I trained the two owners, and the next day I would train the 4 remaining staff. And one girl there, Melissa, just joined. She'd come from a company called Lemon. And Lemon had tried Asana for 1 month, and it failed. They didn't like it. And when she was told that I was coming to train her into Asana, on Asana, she said, "Oh, I hate Asana." So I started the meeting. The first thing I said, "Melissa, I heard this and everything. So my challenge is to get you to love Asana." And after 3 hours of training, I asked her the question, "So what's the verdict?" And she said she'd love it. Because you've been, in a short time, I took 1.5 years to get to grips to little things, little details, and I'm still learning. So what I do as a trainer, I come to you and I will get you flying in 3-4 hours, tops. And yeah, so that's Asana. I think that's about it. Any other question? Yeah, please.
So, can you share any of the learnings from her? Why did she hate it? What did she recommend that she hated it?
Because they tried. Asana needs to have everybody on board. If you're going to work on Asana, you can work on Asana and organize your own time, but the beauty of Asana is collaboration, to be able to assign tasks to each other and communicate. So if some of your colleagues are not on Asana, so you're going to have like a half Asana in the company. Some people use it, some people don't. Sometimes you send a message to someone, you don't use email, you send her a message in Asana about a specific task, but she never checks Asana because she doesn't know how or doesn't have the time. It's not being driven, it's not being encouraged. So it doesn't work. Yeah? I use a diary. I use my own calendar to have meetings. You can also put meetings in there, but I'm not a... You can sync it to your calendar, but it syncs it, the calendar items, or let's say you have an appointment, you can put a due date for the appointment and a time. It syncs it in the calendar as a, what you call it, a whole all-day item, which I don't like. And I much prefer to use, I've got my own calendar, I put my appointment in my calendar. I might have a quick entry in there, with Mr. So-and-so at such and such time, for the team to benefit. So if somebody's looking at the project to say what's going on, oh, Thierry's got a meeting for that. I might not share my calendar with the team, but in Asana, it'll take me a couple of seconds to just make this entry, just to let everyone know this, I've got a meeting with that person. But I also have it in my normal calendar app. I use an app called Fantastical. You know, I put in there. Sorry. Yeah. A support mailbox. But for internally. Yeah, of course, yeah. And then you assign those tasks to each one. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a wonderful use of it. Sometimes I create, whenever I create a company, the top team is always the sort of, I give it the name of the company. For example, sorry. What happened to my tabs? Is it? Oh yeah, you're right. I use a mouse, I don't like this trackpad thing. Yeah, yes, together, you see. So I always create, this is the company Together I was telling you about Melissa and everything. So yes, together, and in the top team, I try to, those are generic sort of projects. And everybody in Together is part of that Together team. And in there I have like a please call back items, and you can have question and answers, but you can certainly have a support team with everybody and people that get the emails, forward the emails into Asana. It's grouped, assigned to, you reply to that, you reply to that, you reply to that, and you know exactly, yeah, it's perfect for that. Perfect. Yes?
Okay, so I'm trying to systemize my business. We have a lot of repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
Is Asana, does it lend itself to repetitive checklists, if you like, that you
Yes. You see together? I'm actually on it. It's a good coincidence. Here's the jobs. It's an event management company. Sorry. I can't move it up more than that. But anyway, I just want to show you, this is and you see there's a template. So there's a lot of French in there, but I'll see you. So Asana is very easy to create sections, and this is a template. So what you do, you copy this and you rename it, and you all got all the steps that you need to do. Obviously, you can just rename the steps or add more steps in between and everything, but it gives you a good framework on how to go about starting. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my time. I charge per user, and it's only a one-off. So I was telling you earlier on that I am not employed by Asana. I'm passionate about it. I think it's a great tool, and I want to share it. So I charge for my time, and when I finish my job, I just move away, and you can hear from me again. But I'm saying there's no fee to pay afterwards. So if you remain within the 15 users, once you've paid me, it's free for as long as you want. Until you feel that, oh, I'd like to get that feature, I start paying. And it's not too expensive. Asana is $8 per user per month. For what it brings you to your team and its visibility, it's not a lot of money to pay. And for smaller teams, it's even less. Instead of going more expensive or less expensive as you grow, Asana will go, for a small team, you might pay as low as $5 a month. And then you go up, and I think it levels at $8 a month. Never more than $8 a month per user. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a desktop app, huh? It's not an app. There's no installation. It's like Gmail. It's a SaaS, software as a service. You just go on any browser, any machine, any platform, as long as you've got a browser, you put asana.com, log in, username, password, boom, you're there. And obviously, there's a great little app, which I use very, very often. Whenever I need to think of something, instantly, I just press on that, press plus, assign to me, or no, not assign to me, put it down and put it away. I'll show you, actually. Here we go. So here's Asana. I have a lot. So I pick my organization. Let's go soap shop. I go plus, task to me. Hello, guys. Create. Now, if I go into the soap shop, and I go into my task, which is here. Here's new task. Takes a few seconds. But typically you're in your car, or sometimes at night, it's on the table next to my bed, and something, come on, baby. Oh, sorry, I forgot to hit create. It's going to come up now. Yeah, like I do. I'm on multiple companies, but each company there is. So I have multiple companies. You can go from one company, and Asana also allows you to have a personal project, so you have your personal task, which is very private to you. A lot of us are, yeah.
I just wanted to find out, has it got any multimedia integration? So in terms of, I run a media company, upload a video, and then...
Oh yeah, that's something, thank you for bringing that up. The beauty about Asana is I'm able at any time on any task to drag and drop just files, relevant files about a project. So let's take the soap shop. For example, I've got this order from Kaisler. That order, okay? I get an email from the client with the PO. This is an email which I forwarded into Asana, so you can see what the client told me. And there was an attachment, and the attachment is down there, and it's for everyone to see. This is a PO. I just click on this, a new tab opens, and the PO will. Oh yeah, sorry, it's down. It downloaded. There, I've got the PO. All right. And all the relevant documents are there. If it's a JPEG, it will appear directly in there, or a PNG. If it's a PDF, you download an Excel spreadsheet. You can link it to Dropbox, OneDrive. Instead of uploading the file, you can just put the Dropbox link. So you click on this, Dropbox opens, and you can read your files. The beauty about this is it doesn't replace your filing system. If you've got a filing system with all your important stuff, it's backed up and everything, which I recommend you keep on doing this. But what's interesting is if somebody's going through this, for example, Liz, my wife, she's on Asana. She might not have access to my Dropbox. But if she wants to see what's a purchase order or the invoice, which I did in my accounting software, which is Xero, I think it's also online software. I did this and I've printed it to PDF. I add that PDF to Asana. This is new invoice. And I've just assigned it here to Asana. So she will go in there and say, let me check the invoice quickly. Instead of having to go into either the accounting software or having to go into my filing system and drill down until I find the thing, it's all in Asana. She's on that project. All the relevant documents have been uploaded for everyone to see. And I can even hit on files, and all the relevant documents are there. Yeah.
What about future tasks?
Sorry?
What about future tasks? Whatever, if there's something in the future that needs to get done.
Oh, yeah.
Pay a TV license.
Yeah. All right. Here's another example of future tasks. I like to create a team or area responsibility called vehicles. There. So there's only one car in the company. It's a little Nissan March. So I put the make and thing. And inside of that, I have inside of that, I have renew registration, renew entrance. All right, and it's March 15, 2017. Yeah, you can put, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'll show you. Watch. Renew registration. I can do that. Add due time, no? Set to repeat. Periodically, yearly. Okay. So now you should have a little, what is here? Yeah, you see there? Like little two arrows, that's a repeating task. There's third-party thing which you can link. I think I've got Harvest going, but I never use it. But I think you can, but you need to go to third-party. They've got a lot of third-party association with Asana. I've never tried it, to be honest with you. I don't know how good it is. Sorry, I can't hear you say it. Yeah. No, external email, I'll go to my email. But if I think that it's the answer or that thing should be in Asana, I can reply to the client and bccx@mail.asana.com. And I send it, the client gets the email, and it goes in my new task, and I put it in Asana. Those tasks which you see, those are, for example, this one, I will maybe have created a task called documents. And I will scan the insurance certificate, I will scan the registration card or whatever important documents, and I'll just attach it to there. It's not something I have to do. I call it an information item. It just sits there. I can tick it as completed or not, whatever, but it's there. And whenever I need to, something about the car, I don't have to go and pull up the file, open the file, and it's there. I need something about the car, I need to find out what the insurance certificate number is, whatever it is, click on that, and it's available. Because you live in Asana, you go back and forth. Just one second.
assignment diary system, your Microsoft Office or 365, where you click and you can actually link it then into the diary system. So that you go out and create.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's very easy. I just click on my calendar on top, and I enter a task, and it will go. I might put a reminder or pop up or something like this, just to remind me. I might also put a meeting task there for everybody to see that I have a meeting. And it's easy. There's no problem with this. There's no real need to sync anything. It's very easy. It takes a couple of seconds to just write a task.
Is there a possibility to then email something out from Asana out to a private email rather than it going to your email address? And then
No. Asana is not an email client. You can't reply from within Asana. Asana is you send your emails into Asana for the benefit of the team and the project members, and just to say this is what the client has said. And sometimes the client sends you one email, and there might be two or more tasks, one or more tasks, 3 tasks. He asks, do this, and do that. So you send that email into Asana, and then you might break it down, because Asana has something called subtasks. Let's imagine that was one of the emails that I got from the client, and in that description box you have a lot of, you create subtasks like that. Here's a subtask. That's 1 subtask, 2 subtasks, 3 subtasks. And I can assign it to 3 different people. So 1 email, 3 tasks, and 3 assignments, different people, with different due dates. And all those people that I got assigned their stuff will appear in each one's of their my task individually, so that they can take action. Yeah.
Does that translate into income and workflow management? So by that I mean multiple subtasks become a task. Once that task is completed, next person in the level, the next subject.
Oh yes. There's a new feature that they've included. You see markers waiting on? I think that's what you mean.
Yeah.
So you have a list of tasks. Some tasks can be parallel, and some tasks can be like sequential. So you can't do this until this is done. So if this is one of your tasks and you're waiting for this guy, so you can mark as waiting on. And this is a premium feature, by the way. You can't have that in the free version. So you mark as waiting on, and as soon as I click this, it says which task is it. So I said, okay, that task. When that's finished, then you get notified that this task finished. Now you can start on yours.
So is there an approval step? So if you delegate to somebody else a task and they say it's completed, can you approve that you agree it's completed?
No. But if you get notified, sometimes it happens.
Reactivate the task and say the task was almost completed. But you don't agree that it's been completed.
No.
But people love completed.
No, I don't know what you mean. Huh?
It doesn't mean it's completed to your satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you how it happens to me. For example, Angelique is my sales girl, and she's got a task, call Mrs. Fenter for appointment. All right? And she's put that in the diary. I can see it. And so she calls the lady. Maybe she doesn't get an appointment, but she's called the lady and she completes. I've called the lady for an appointment. So you didn't get an appointment. And she completed, but I've called her. I said, no, but you don't make it finish. Just move the due date for some other date and plan it for some other time. But until you've actually had the appointment. But I get, because I'm a project follower, I get notified that Angelique has completed this task. I said, so when's the appointment? Said, no, but I must phone again. But why do you complete that task? So you do get notified. Tony?